Welcome back, everyone, to the last 7 days. Let's jump right in with aerospace and defense. So, coming up,
NASA's Stereo A is back after 17 years.
and Spirit Aerosystems seeks to develop new materials for hypersonic flight.
Will NASA's Artemis 3 actually get to the moon?
And will Lockheed Martin open a new factory focused solely on small satellites?
And then we'll talk about demonstrating the power of additive manufacturing in defense.
So let's jump right in.
NASA's Stereo A is back after 17 years. The Twin Stereo, which stands for Solar Terrestrial Relations Observatory, the Twin Stereo spacecraft launched on October 25th, 2006 from Cape Canaveral. Stereo A and Stereo B provided the first stereoscopic perspective view of our sun. After both reached 180-degree separation in their orbits, the sun was seen as a complete sphere for the first time in 2011. However, Mission Control lost contact with Stereo B in 2014, and Stereo A continued its journey. Once again, these views of Stereo A was able to combine with some partner views on planet Earth to be able to show a stereoscopic view of the sun just this last weekend. During and after Stereo A orbits or the Earth flyby on Saturday, August 12th, any Earth-directed coronal mass ejections, which are plumes of solar material, pass over Stereo A and are providing scientists with multiple measurements from inside the ejection points. Pretty cool to be able to see the sun this way again, and they're going to be testing new theories about coronal loops, giant arches seen in close-up images of the sun that may not be what they appeared to be.
Spirit Aerosystems seeks to develop new materials for hypersonic flight. Spirit Aerosystems is partnering with Oak Ridge National Laboratory, a U.S. government-funded laboratory, to develop advanced materials capable of withstanding hypersonic flight. The partnership will focus on scalable, efficient manufacturing of advanced material solutions for military, commercial, and space applications. The company has made significant advances into the defense market, with military contracts expected to make up 15% of total revenue by the end of 2023.
Will NASA's Artemis 3 mission actually get to the moon? We talked about this in a couple news shows before, but now the question is, will it actually make it? The Artemis 3 mission, which is scheduled to be the first to land Americans back on the moon, could be turned into a different mission in the event of delays on certain key equipment. One critical piece of hardware is missing: a moon lander. NASA needs a spacecraft that can take people from lunar orbit down to the surface and back up. In December 2025, the Artemis 3 mission aims to land astronauts on the lunar surface for the first time since 1972, and SpaceX was tasked with building a lander that will deposit astronauts onto the lunar surface. Jim Freed, the associate administrator at NASA, at a press conference on Tuesday said that for Artemis 3, we're still working with everyone on the contract dates, which is December 2025. However, we could end up flying a different mission if we have these big delays.
Meanwhile, Lockheed Martin opens a new factory solely focused on small satellites. Lockheed Martin, a company that for decades has built school bus-sized spacecraft for the US government, opens a new facility to assemble small satellites. Lockheed Martin's 20,000 square foot factory is located at the company's Waterton campus near Denver, Colorado. It has 6 parallel assembly lines and capacity to manufacture 180 small satellites each year. The first satellite is made at the facility are for US Space Force's Space Development Agency. The SDA plans to build a mesh network of hundreds of data transport and missile detection sensor satellites in low Earth orbit.
And demonstrating the power of additive manufacturing in defense. To raise awareness of the benefits of additive manufacturing in the defense sector, Tritech 3D will attend the Defense and Security Equipment International 2023. Tritech 3D is the UK provider of Stratasys, One-Click Metal, and XJet 3D printing solutions. This event is going to take place at Excel London in September. The defense industry is rapidly evolving, and additive manufacturing can support with all aspects of high-end manufacturing, from tooling, jigs, fixtures to aerospace and defense applications. They require industrial-grade parts and tight tolerances. Many people know about using 3D printers to produce end products, but may not be aware of the breadth of applications that are achievable in the defense market, explained Joe Godfrey, the 3D print specialist at Tritech 3D. By additively manufacturing certain parts, those in the defense market can reduce costs, shorten lead times, and lower energy consumption, all of which are critical factors.
All righty, thanks enough of A&D. Let's move on into high tech. Welcome back, everyone, to the last 7 days news. Let's jump into high tech. And coming up,
NVIDIA flexes generative AI muscle with new GPUs.
Indeed it does. And on top of that, TSMC, NXP, Infineon, and Bosch are teaming up for German chip foundry.
Intel calls off a $5.4 billion tower deal after failing to obtain regulatory approvals.
And the cloud-enabled manufacturing operations are the next frontier of digital manufacturing. So let's get right into it. First up,
NVIDIA flexes the generative AI muscle with the new GPUs, looking to solidify its position as the dominant global supplier of chips that support generative AI workloads. NVIDIA announced new GPUs and servers, as well as a range of new software offering at the SIGGRAPH conference in Los Angeles. NVIDIA announced a new line of servers. The OVX series is designed to use up to 8 of the company's L40S GPUs. The GPUs are based on the ADA Lovelace architecture. Each one packs 48 gigabytes of memory and is designed with complex AI workloads in mind, boasting 1.45 petaflops of tensor processing power. NVIDIA also released a product called the AI Workbench, which is designed to be a self-assembly kit for AI developers with pre-trained models and an array of tools that can be used to customize those. And they also announced numerous features designed to add generative AI capabilities to other product lines, including an AI developer co-pilot for the Omniverse 3D imaging software.
And TSMC, NXP, Infineon, and Bosch are teaming up for a German chip foundry. So TSMC, Robert Bosch, Infineon, and NXP will be partnering to form a new firm, the European Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, and open a nearly $11 billion chip-making facility in Germany. This is huge. This is part of a general move by global chip makers to build plants in the West and shore up supply chains. ESMC, as the company will be better known, will be aimed at providing necessary silicon for the automotive and industrial sectors. The planned facility, which will be located in Dresden, will be able to produce 40,300 millimeter silicon wafers per month, with each wafer able to produce hundreds of chips. The company said that they expect the new plant to create 2,000 new high-tech jobs, and construction is set to begin in the second half of 2024, with production coming online in 2027.
Intel calls off a $5.4 billion tower deal after failing to obtain regulatory approvals. Intel is terminating this deal with the Israeli chip manufacturer Tower Semiconductor after China failed to sign off on the deal amid rising tensions with the United States. Intel will pay Tower a termination fee of $353 million. The deal required regulatory approval from several regulators worldwide, including China, but Chinese regulators did not greenlight the deal by August 15th, transaction deadline, even after Intel CEO Patrick Gelsinger traveled over to China last month in a bid to win them over. This comes amidst increasing U.S. tensions as the U.S. has heightened export control and imposed restrictions aimed at crippling China's ability to purchase and manufacture chips. China's antitrust regulator, the State Administration for Market Regulation, appears to have dragged its feet on approving mergers involving American companies, such as the Intel Tower deal.
So let's talk cloud and let's talk manufacturing. So cloud-enabled manufacturing operations are the next frontier of digital manufacturing. Industry 4.0 has catalyzed a shift towards cloud-based solutions to enhance agility and flexibility on the shop floor. This evolution has transformed cloud technology from being a disruptive novelty to a foundational component of future manufacturing. According to a recent survey and report by McKinsey, the adoption of IIoT is rapidly gaining momentum and expanding. The manufacturing industry faces several challenges that require a central manufacturing data and analytics platform to be in place. Funnily enough, Brian, we had a show on this exactly yesterday about how do we get greater visibility and monitoring and to be more agile on the shop floor. And this is exactly speaking to that platform of cloud. Quality control inconsistencies potentially leading to increased wastage or recalls, equipment maintenance issues which may lead to unplanned downtimes, etc., etc. Moving manufacturing workloads to the cloud is a key imperative for realizing higher business value, minimizing IT infrastructure and operational costs, and demonstrating and democratizing digital capabilities across the plants. It requires a well-defined architecture with key components. The reality is, most of us have been a little reluctant with manufacturing to move it to the cloud. We're dealing with mission critical systems. We can't afford for them to go down. Certainly industries that go down for seconds can be losing millions. So there is a nervousness, but as cloud robustness continues to prosper, it is the tidal wave of technology. You can fight it, but you will lose. It's inevitable, not if, and it's just when. So welcome to the cloud in manufacturing.
Yeah, speaking of inevitable and moving on, let's dive into automotive.
Let's do it. Welcome back, everyone, to the last 7 days lose. Let's jump right into automotive.
We're going to talk about
self-driving companies Cruise and Waymo get approval to expand driverless vehicles in San Francisco.
A connected fleet of autonomous trucks sharing real-time data with each other across the autonomous freight network.
And Ford expects software to boost revenue for commercial trucks and vans. Let's jump right in.
The self-driving companies Cruise and Waymo get approval to expand driverless vehicles in San Francisco. The California Public Utilities Commission, which regulates passenger transportation, voted on Thursday to allow Cruise, which is majority owned by General Motors, and Waymo, part of the Google parent Alphabet, to deploy more vehicles in the city and to start charging rides at all times. The result, after a vote that had already been delayed twice, signifies a big win for the self-driving car companies in their quest to expand statewide into other cities across the U.S. San Francisco has played host to thousands of self-driving car test miles, and some residents are regular users. Now the companies want to offer the ride-hailing businesses to compete with Lyft and Uber, and some residents have expressed concerns about this deployment. The companies face pressure from city officials and also from shareholders. The businesses have produced minimal revenue. GM reported $102 million in sales and $3.3 billion in cost and expenses related to Cruise last year. Alphabet was asked by shareholders last November to cut their losses on long-term bets like Waymo. While the companies have stated their plans to expand nationwide, they still face a long path ahead to persuade customers to try the service. And a 2022 poll by consumer intelligence firm J.D. Power showed that most consumers are comfortable with driver assist features, but only 12% are comfortable with full self-driving features.
Next up, a connected fleet of autonomous trucks sharing real-time data with each other across the autonomous
Safety is
network.
paramount.
Too Simple's autonomous freight network plans to become a new freight transportation backbone for the supply chain, enabling goods to be transported more safely, reliably, and efficiently. A key part of the AFN network of high-definition digital maps that autonomous trucks use in combination with onboard sensors to perceive the road and safely navigate. Each autonomous truck operating on TuSimple's AFN perceives its surrounding environment with HD cameras, LiDAR, and radar. And TuSimple's CyberMap can help see several minutes into the future around a long corner or through dense traffic. Quite amazing. So this works with the process of trucks operating on the AFN, identifying potential road hazards, and then sends select information to TuSimple's data center. The data is aggregated and processed using algorithms, and if needed, is manually reviewed by a human operator. Other trucks operating on the AFN pull that information from the data center and fuse it with the information they acquire while driving to make the safest, optimal driving decision. Other trucks operating on the AFM will update the data center to confirm the hazard, or will will note if it has changed or is no longer valid.
Ford expects software to boost revenue for commercial trucks and vans. Ford Motor expects to incorporate more and better software into the trucks and vans and to grow revenues by 4,000 to 5,000 per vehicle in the future. Navin Kumar, the chief financial officer of Ford Pro, said the automaker would look to boost revenue with software and data-driven services, safety and security services, and partial vehicle autonomy and insurance. Its second-generation EVs, including the successor to the F-150 Lightning pickup, will be more profitable in terms of their ability to generate additional software and services revenue. Kumar said the current F-150 Lightning was not cost-optimized, but declined to say whether it was actually profitable. He said Ford Pro expects to boost its commercial vehicle business in Europe with the arrival this fall of a new Transit Custom van and the introduction next year of electric versions of the Transit Courier and Transit Custom.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the last 7 days across A&D, high tech, and automotive, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.